Hello, today we're going to talk about limits at infinity and horizontal asymptotes. So let's start off with an example. Let's just look at the function 3x squared minus 2 over x squared plus 2. What happens when x gets really large in the positive or negative direction without bound? Now notice the x's are being squared, so if I plug in a positive value like positive 1, I would get 1 squared, which is 1, and 1 squared, which is 1. And if I plugged in negative 1, I'd get negative 1 squared, which is also 1, and negative 1 squared, which is 1. So if you plug in the positive value and you plug in the negative value, you're going to get the same thing. So I made a chart here. Plug in 0, you get negative 1. Plus or minus 1, you get 0.3 repeating. Plus or minus 5, you get about 2.7. Plus or minus 10, you get about 2.9. Plus or minus 100, you get about 2.999. And as my x is increasing in the positive or negative direction, it looks like my function's kind of approaching a value, and that value looks like it's about 3. So let's take a look at the graph of this function. And as you can see, as x is increasing without bound, going off towards positive infinity, it looks like the function is getting really close to this horizontal line y equals 3, and the same thing as we're going down this way towards negative infinity. So let's have a definition. Let's let f of x be a function defined on some open interval a to infinity. Then we would say that the limit as x approaches infinity of f of x equals L means that the value of f of x can be made arbitrarily close to L as x increases significantly in the positive direction without bound. In other words, we can read this as the limit of f of x as x increases without bound is L. Here are some examples illustrating the limit as x approaches infinity being equal to L. Now, unlike with vertical asymptotes, which we'll talk about what these horizontal lines are, which I'm sure you can guess are horizontal asymptotes, your function can actually cross. It can cross once or multiple times. But as you can see, as we're going to increase x without bound, it's eventually going to level off at this horizontal line. We can also talk about a function, the limit as x is approaching negative infinity of a function. So if f of x is a function defined on some open interval from negative infinity to a, then we would say that the limit as x approaches negative infinity of f of x equals L means that the value of f of x can be made arbitrarily close to L as x increases significantly in the negative direction without bound. In other words, we would read this as the limit of f of x as x increases negative without bound is L. And here are some illustrations of the limit as x is approaching negative infinity. And again, it's okay to cross that horizontal line, just eventually you're going to level off. And as we've mentioned already what those lines are called, but I'll formally define it for you. The line y equals L is called a horizontal asymptote to the curve y equals f of x, if either the limit as x approaches positive infinity of f of x is equal to L, or the limit as x approaches negative infinity of f of x equals L. All right, let's look at an example. Let's look at the limit as x approaches infinity of 1 over x. So what's happening here is that x is going to increase in the positive direction without bound. So we'll start by just picking large numbers, right? 1, 5, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. And as we plug them in, what do we see is happening? 1 over x. Plug in 1, you get 1. Plug in 5, you get 0.2. Plug in 10, you get 0.1. And as you can see, it looks like it's decreasing significantly, getting closer and closer and closer to 0. Well, if you look at the graph of 1 over x, it looks like this. And as you can see, as x is increasing without bound, it really is leveling off on the y-axis, which is the horizontal line y equals 0. Now, what would happen if these were negative values? Well, that would give us 1 over a negative, so all of these values would be the same, but they would be negative. So as you can see, the limit as x approaches negative infinity of 1 over x would also get really small, but negative very small numbers, but it would still be very close to 0. So the limit as x approaches infinity of 1 over x is 0, and the limit as x approaches negative infinity of 1 over x is 0. Now, because we're getting an actual value here, this would be equal to 0, which is a finite value, then we know that the line y equals 0 is a horizontal asymptote based on that last definition. So we have a theorem that goes along with this that somebody proved. If r is a positive number and it's some rational number, remember rational numbers are numbers that can be written as a fraction, integer over integer. Then it turns out the limit as x approaches infinity of 1 over x to the r is 0. In other words, when you take 1 and you divide it by a really big number, you're going to get a really small number. So small that it's eventually going to go off towards 0. Now, if r is a positive number and it's a rational number where x to the r is defined for all x, so keep that in mind. You couldn't have something like the square root, right? You couldn't have r being 1/2 because that's not defined for all values, right? It's not defined for negative values. But if r is a rational number so that x to the r is defined for all x, then we would say the limit as x approaches negative infinity of 1 over x to the r also goes to 0. And this theorem is going to be really useful when we start doing some limits in a minute. For example, if we were going to evaluate this limit, the limit as x approaches infinity of 5x squared minus 2x plus 3 over 2x squared plus 6x minus 1. Well, the issue is, as x gets really large, you can see this numerator is going to get really large, and this denominator is going to get really large. So it is not obvious what's going to happen to this ratio, right? You can't take infinity divided by infinity. I mean, it doesn't give you a real value. So here's what we do. To evaluate the limit at infinity of any rational function, which is like a fraction function, if you will, we divide the numerator and the denominator by the highest power of the variable, which is typically x, of the denominator. We get to assume that x isn't 0 because we're only interested in values of x that are large and 0 is not large. Now we can do this because on a fraction you can do whatever you want to the numerator as long as you also do it to the denominator. So let's look at this limit again. Notice the largest power of x is x squared, so we're going to take the entire numerator and divide it by x squared, and we're going to take the entire denominator and divide it by x squared. And dividing this entire thing by x squared means we're going to divide each of the pieces. And then we can reduce that 5 over x squared, or 5x squared over x squared is going to reduce. And when we do, we have the limit as x approaches infinity of 5 minus 2 over x plus 3 over x squared, plus 2 over 2 plus 6 over x minus 1 over x squared. Now, if you look back at our limit laws that we had talked about, for a fraction like this, we know that we can rewrite that as taking the limit of the numerator and taking the limit of the denominator. And also using those limit laws, these are all being added and subtracted, we can actually take the limit of each of them individually and add and subtract. Now, the limit as x approaches infinity of 5, that's just going to be 5. Now, based on the theorem we just went over, the limit as x approaches infinity of 2 over x is going to go off to 0. So is the limit as x approaches infinity of 3 over x squared. So we end up getting 5 minus 0 plus 0 over 2 plus 0 minus 0, or 5/2. So it turns out that this infinite limit, this limit at infinity, is going to be 5/2. Now notice that limit as x approaches infinity gave us a real value, 5/2. That means graphically we're going to have a horizontal asymptote at the horizontal line y equals 5/2. So let's look at the graph of this function. 5/2, which is about 2.5. Look at that. The function, that limit as x is approaching positive infinity, it does look like it's leveling off. And as you can see, it would turn out, and I challenge you to do this on your own time, take the limit as x approaches negative infinity of this function and see if you get the same thing. Let's take a look at another example. Let's find the vertical and horizontal asymptotes of this function. So let's talk about the vertical asymptotes. What have we noticed? Remember, a vertical asymptote is if the limit as x approaches a of f of x goes off to positive or negative infinity. And we noticed a trend that these vertical asymptotes tend to happen at the values that make the denominator 0. So we're going to make our guess that we think it would be at 7/2, because 7/2 is what would make that denominator equal to 0. So now we're going to take the left and right hand limits and see what happens as x gets really close to 7/2. Now first notice that numerator, the square root of 3x squared plus 1, is always going to be positive. So when you plug in whatever value you want, you're always going to get a positive value in there. So as you take the limit as x approaches 7/2 from below, notice we're plugging in values very close to 7/2, but a little bit less. So this value right here, this 2 times 7 over 2, is going to be a little less than 7. Minus 7 is going to give us a negative value. So we're going to have a negative value down here. And so when you take a number and you divide it by a really, 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 really small number, it's going to give you a really, 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 really big number, except it's going to be a positive over a negative, so we can see that's going to go off to negative infinity. If we take the limit as x approaches 7/2 from above, again, this is always going to be a positive value. We're taking values a little bit bigger than 7/2, so 2 times a little bit bigger than 7/2 is going to give us a number a little bit bigger than 7. Minus 7, this will be positive. And again, when you take a value and divide it by a really, 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 really small value, you're going to get a really, 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 really big value, and we'll see that this will go off to positive infinity. Both of these will actually determine that you do have a vertical asymptote at x equals 7/2. Now let's talk about the horizontal asymptotes. So we need to take the limit as x approaches infinity of this function. Problem is, so we can't just say, this is obviously going to get very large and this is obviously going to get very large. So we have to do that little trick where we divide by the largest power of x, which in this case is just x by itself, x to the 1. So I'll divide the entire numerator by x and I'll divide the entire denominator by x. But notice this is the square root. So I'm going to rewrite x as a square root, which would be the square root of x squared. And now a square root over a square root, now I can tuck that into one square root here. And so then we can separate here, like we did down here. We divided both of these by x. We'll divide both of these by x squared. And reduce. And when we do, we get the limit as x approaches infinity of the square root of 3 plus 1 over x squared, all over 2 minus 7 over x. Just like we did before, we can take the limit of the numerator over the limit of the denominator. Looking back at your limit laws, we know we can actually take this limit and stick it inside the radical. And then we can take the limit of each of those pieces like we did before. And what we end up with is this is going to be 3, this is going to go to 0, this is going to be 2, and this is going to go up to 0. But keep in mind we have this square root here. And we get that this limit is square root of 3 over 2. So what does that mean? That means that the horizontal line y equals root 3 over 2 is a horizontal asymptote. But remember, we also need to look at what the limit as x approaches negative infinity does. So let's take a look. Now, when we are computing this limit as x is approaching negative infinity, you have to remember for negative x values that the square root of x squared, x is negative, right, is going to give us the absolute value of x. And so what we're going to have to do is negate that to make it positive. So if we divide our numerator by x like we just did before, up here in the previous example as the limit was approaching positive infinity, when we do that square root, we got to negate it out here because remember these x's are going to negative infinity, so they're negative. So when we do that, we have this leftover negative sign on the outside. So taking the limit just like we did a few minutes ago, here, when we divide the top and the bottom by x, you're going to end up getting this negative out here, like I just showed you on that last slide. When you distribute that I'm sorry, not distribute, that was a terrible word to say. When I take the limit and using the limit laws, and I get to take the limit of each of those pieces, I still have this negative out here. So that's going to give me a negative square root of 3 plus 0 over 2 minus 0, or negative root 3 over 2. So that means we have a horizontal asymptote at y equals negative root 3 over 2. So let's take a look at the graph of this function. And look, it lines up as we're going off to positive infinity. Right about root 3 over 2, you can see that horizontal asymptote. As we're going to negative infinity, you can see right here at this purple line, negative root 3 over 2. And then that vertical asymptote right here at about 7/2. This is the end of part 1 of this video. I'll see you in a few minutes for part 2.